Okey, saya mulakan ya lecture untuk hari ini. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all. Okey, minggu ni ya kita telah pun I think kita berada di minggu ke-12. Jadi 2 minggu sebelum ni disebabkan oleh masalah banjir ya, bencana banjir yang kita hadapi. Jadi 2 minggu kuliah kita tertangguh ya. Jadi saya bercadang kalau dapatlah, sebab saya perlu ganti ya kuliah ni. Saya bercadang minggu ni saya akan mengajar tajuk Sanitary Landfill Part 1 ya. Which is preliminary about sanitary landfill. Next week saya cadang nak buat 2 lecture lah kalau dapat. Sanitary landfill part 2 dengan hazardous waste management. Jadi kalau boleh hari Rabu semua okey tak hari Rabu? Boleh tak hari Rabu?
Hari Rabu pukul berapa ya, Doktor?
Terpulang, saya available hari Rabu.
Boleh tu Doktor. Rasanya kalau pagi tu tak ada kelas.
Okey, pagi tu nak pukul berapa ya? Pagi tu? Pukul 10 boleh?
10 boleh Doktor. Saya tak tahu tapi tak pasti yang lain.
Yang lain okey tak agaknya? Tapi hari ni ada 15 kan? Ada lagi yang tak ada tu. Selalunya Rabu pagi tu ada kelas ke agaknya? Selalu tu.
Selalunya tak ada.
Ya. So saya buatlah ya. Kalau yang siapa yang tak dapat tu mungkin boleh tengok lecture notes nantilah. Saya buat untuk yang dapat lah ya kan. Sebab saya perlu cover lah juga untuk semester ni. So pukul 10 pagi boleh ya? 10 pagi hari Rabu, tarikh ialah bila? 12 ya?
12.
12 Januari. 12 Januari ya. Nanti saya remind lah sehari sebelum. Kemudian hari Jumaat tu seperti biasa. Dan minggu seterusnya, minggu ke-14, saya akan buat tajuk Decision Support System pada hari dan tarikh yang sama, yang 21 Januari, tak ada perubahan. Dan minggu pertama study week tu saya akan buat test 2. Ya, iaitu pada 28 Januari. Okey tak?
Okey Doktor.
Boleh ya? So sebelum test tu saya akan bagi briefing, mungkin some hint lah macam soalan-soalan yang diberikan. Okey, so saya akan mulakanlah lecture untuk hari ni. Okey, saya akan share video dulu. Lecture notes. Recording dah. Notes. Okey. Boleh nampak ya lecture notes saya? Slide.
Nampak Doktor.
Boleh. Alright. Okay, we will continue on the topic of principles of sanitary landfill. Suara saya clear? Boleh dengar? Boleh dengar?
Boleh Doktor.
Okay, boleh. Okay, bagus. Okay, so we have been discussing about previous treatment options, reduce, reuse, recycle. If possible, before the waste should be disposed at landfill. Landfill is a disposal land or disposal area. I'm sure that many of you have already seen how a landfill look like. Yeah, a place where we dispose our waste. Yeah, maybe later on I will show you the picture when you are entering the sanitary landfill. Yeah, Okay, so which means landfill should be actually a place for waste disposal if we cannot reduce, reuse, recycle, or treat the waste. So it should be an option where it is only for residue of the waste that we generated. Yeah, it's only the residue. However, currently in Malaysia, our main method of waste disposal here is using landfill. Either it is sanitary landfill or it's a normal, a general landfill. Yeah. So, which means currently it is about like 90 to 95% of our waste generated is being sent to landfill. And it has been so in so many years, more than 50 years. Our landfill in Malaysia has been there for more than 50 years. Yeah. So can you imagine? Most of the landfills actually has already been full. Yeah. Currently, it's already full. Okay. So let me explained about, yeah, here it said that in Malaysia approximately 82.5% of waste collected is disposed at dumping sites or landfill sites, and the other negligible portion is treated, processed, reprocessed, or dumped illegally. Yeah, if you heard about illegal dumping or pembuangan haram, pembuangan secara haram. So meaning that, let's say here it says 82.5% waste being collected and sent to landfill, others treated, reduce, recycle, or there's also what we call illegal dumping. Yeah. So here it says that there are issues related to lack of funding to upgrade the sanitary landfill sites, meaning that our landfill is actually is a very low level disposal area. Yeah, meaning that the environmental protection is really minimum. Yeah. So what is the main problem is that the funding, meaning that waste actually being managed at local authorities, meaning that it can be Majlis Daerah, Majlis Perbandaran, Dewan Bandaraya, yeah, such as the BKL. So the problem is that funding is really limited, yeah, very minimum, yeah, and majority of the community would not want to pay more for waste disposal, yeah. So that's why, I mean, that's the issue with waste management, lacking of funding. Yeah. So another issue is lenient enforcement in issuing contravention licenses, as well as lack of compliance in the Housing and Local Government Ministry technical guidelines on sanitary landfills. So those are the issues that currently being that we can see regarding landfill disposal. Yeah. Okay, so this is some of the picture that I took from the internet. So you can see at a landfill, there could be various types of waste being disposed. And you can also see there are some equipment, yeah, some tools that are being used at the landfill, yeah. One of it here, if you can see, it's the truck that collected the waste from our homes and sent it to the landfill. And here at the left side, actually, it is what we call a compactor. Yeah, it's the purpose of the compactor is to make the volume, yeah, of the waste, yeah, the density of the waste to be maximized so that more waste can be placed at the landfill. Yeah. So here we can see that at least there are 3 compactors at this cell. Yeah. So if you can see this cell, it is not really big because at the landfill, they don't open one cell. Don't open all the cells at one time. Yeah. They will open the cell, one cell at a time, so that erosion can be minimized. Okay. Right. Here, I mentioned to you, we have been operating, Malaysia have been operating landfills since like more than 50 years ago. So what we can see that in some of the states in Malaysia, such as in Johor, the first one is in Johor, operating non-sanitary landfill sites. Here it says non-sanitary. There are sanitary landfill, and the last column is non-operating. Yeah. Okay. So what it says non-sanitary landfill means it is just like a normal landfill, minimal environmental protection. So in Johor there are around 12 of those. Yeah, 12 of non-sanitary landfill which is in operation. Two is what we call sanitary landfill. I will explain in detail what is sanitary landfill. And actually non-operating mean the landfill has been closed, which is 23. So there are a total of 37 landfill in Johor. Yeah. Malacca, yeah. So you can see there are quite many landfills that is still in operation, but very only not too many, very little sanitary landfill, and non-operating, meaning that closed landfill, there are a lot of them. So meaning that in Malaysia, we are expecting areas for landfill disposal or land disposal is getting less and less in the future. Yeah. So if we look at Selangor, where in UKM is in Selangor, we still have 5 non-sanitary landfill in operation. There's quite a lot of sanitary landfill in Selangor. Yeah. And then closed landfill is 14 of them. So 23 of landfills in Selangor area, and a total of 300 landfills that we have in Malaysia altogether, whereby we can see that non-operating is almost half of it, 130. And a total of sanitary landfill are 30 throughout Malaysia. 13 throughout Malaysia. Okay, so there are various issues on waste disposal in Malaysia. Okay, if we refer to a newspaper cutting by the Star on the 16th of September 2019, which was recently. So one of the issue is landfill pollutants leaching into sea. Yeah, leaching means that most of it is what we call dirty water, that we call it leachate. Yeah, and it seeps into rivers and then it goes into the sea. Yeah. So here, this is actually occurred at Penang, Pulau Burong Sanitary Landfill. And the community blamed the facility, the sanitary landfill facility, emit pollutant that harms their cage-bred fish. Yeah, so meaning that they have cage-bred fish in the sea nearby. And then there are about 150 fish farms forming one of the largest clusters of floating fish farms in Malaysia. Yeah? So they complained that the landfill, the Pulau Burong landfill, has problems that leachate into the sea. So that was in 2019. Another one in Johor, in Johor landfill site. And it says that burning, the landfill site burning, causing health alarm to surrounding villages. So anyone who stays in Johor near the landfill site may know this issue, yeah. And they complain that dust and smoke from fire at the waste disposal landfill in Kampung Bukit Dagang, Ulu Tiram, in Ulu Tiram, have been complaining. It was learned that the fire was deliberately carried out by the landfill site operators to eliminate the solid waste collected. So meaning that they wanted to reduce the solid waste that being sent to the landfill by burning the waste, which is not right. Yeah. So even when it's raining, smoke from the landfill continues to come up as the fire is not easily extinguished. Okay, next, Greenpeace Malaysia. It's on the 27th of November 2018. It says that country, Malaysia, has become the world's rubbish bin. Oh, I think probably you have heard about this. Developed countries, such as United States, Japan, Britain, they actually in their countries they have done recycling activities, and then they have this recycling product that there was agreement being made by this country with Malaysia, because Malaysia was thinking that we can actually take up the recyclable items and use it as a resource for the manufacturing, as a manufacturing. However, it was found out that most of the recyclable items being sent to Malaysia, exported to Malaysia, cannot be used as a resource for their manufacturing. So it turned out that most of the recyclable items need to be disposed in Malaysia. So it becomes mountains of waste, recyclable items in Malaysia, and that's why they call it world's rubbish bin. Okay, so the United States, Japan, and Britain are the three largest plastic waste exporters to Malaysia, accounting for 53% of the 754,000 tons of plastic waste in the country. So that's the issue. Next, another issue, which is in 16th of July, Malaysia is overflowing with waste and we are running out of options. So since Malaysia has become a dumping ground for all sorts of waste, the media is littered with reports of illegal dumping. So the issue of illegal dumping is coming out. People are like dispose the waste illegally, and it can be plastics, chemical, construction waste, e-waste, and others. Okay, so one must go to illegal landfills in town like Jenjarum, in Kelang area, Jenjarum. Jenjarum is one of the largest illegal dumping site. Kulim, Sungai Petani, to see the severity of the problem and pictures of the mounds of trash. Another one is Jalan Gombak residents claim illegal landfill in KL causing air pollution. Okay, it was still in 2019. So these are the issues that we are facing with illegal dumping. Okay, I've been discussing about illegal dumping, and what does it really mean, illegal dumping? Okay, it occurs when solid waste are discarded or caused to be dumped or placed on any property, either public or private, without proper authorization or legitimate purpose. Illegal dumping is a difficult issue that local and state government must address in a continual basis. Why? Normally, when waste being collected from our homes, from probably any commercial areas or institutional areas, they are actually authorized. It has been authorized, probably by the waste operators, the collectors, to get together with the local authorities. So it has been authorized. There's paperwork, payment need to be made. However, illegal dumping is without authorization. Probably partly authorized because probably the operators have already signed with the local authorities and agree to send the waste to one landfill site, and probably it is quite far away. So the operator, they try to reduce the cost. What they do, okay, they found there's a small area nearby the source of waste generation. Okay, and they said that there's nobody there that could see them. So what they do, they just dump it at the site which is closer to the waste where they collected. So that caused illegal dumping, and it is actually a problematic issue. The government, the state government, has been trying to solve it continuously. Yeah. And probably one of the issue is monitoring. Proper monitoring need to be made. Yeah, if possible, CCTV should be located at certain areas, hotspots areas, so that illegal dumping can be identified immediately. Yeah, and action can be taken immediately. However, it is still an issue in Malaysia. Right, so these are some of the pictures of illegal dumping, either in some places nearby the housing areas, somewhere that people cannot see really when people are throwing it. Yeah, or even nearby the rivers. Yeah, so it's still happening in Malaysia. So what are the causes of illegal dumping? Why people are doing illegal dumping? Yeah. Firstly, because of lack of legal waste disposal options, which is the primary factor, meaning that shortage of legal disposal options drive demand for waste removal service, increasing prices. Yeah, so as I mentioned just now, lands are no longer nearby the city, close by the city. So the operators need to transport the waste from the housing areas in the cities, like need to be disposed like a very long distance. So what happened? They tried to reduce the cost, yeah, by having illegal dumping. Okay. Studies also found unit pricing, which involves charging a set price per bag of garbage thrown out, may contribute to illegal dumping, although the intent of unit pricing is to encourage people. So in some areas, in some places, waste being charged according to how many bags that you are disposed of. But this is not happening in Malaysia, but probably in some other countries such as Taiwan. So the number of bags that you throw will actually meaning that is how much that they have to pay. So if they are trying to reduce the number of plastic bags, so where do they send the waste? Yeah, so they will be sending the waste to illegal dumping. Okay, then weak enforcement of laws prohibiting illegal dumping and a lack of public awareness regarding the environmental, health and economic dangers of illegal dumping. Okay, that's quite easy. So what are the effects of illegal dumping? The effects are health, environment and economic consequences, may sometimes lead to pollution of the surrounding areas, toxin and hazardous materials. Yeah, as you have heard in Johor, in Sungai Kim Kim, yeah, people are disposing. This is relates to toxic waste, yeah, or hazardous waste, yeah, that they illegally dumped at the nearby the river. Okay, and then illegal dump sites that catch fire, so it can easily catch fire and pollute the air. It poses a physical threat, yeah, and unstable piles and materials expose nails threaten harms to humans, and then attract vermin, yeah, vermin or what we call pests or nuisance animals that spread diseases and insects as well. Okay, so now back to the landfills. Okay, if we are talking about landfills, there are various types of landfills. If you have heard about open dumping, landfill, I've mentioned it to you just now, landfill, sanitary landfill, yeah, and then hazardous waste disposal, yeah, or hazardous waste landfill, which is called secure landfill. So there are various types of landfill, yeah, because what we thought is that when we send the waste to a disposal site or disposal area. We just know we call it landfill ataupun in bahasa Malaysia tapak pelepasan. Yeah, we call it landfill or tapak pelepasan. However, there are different types of landfill. Okay, so the first one we said that open dumping. Yeah, open dumping is so simple. Yeah, obtaining the actually the local authority, Majlis Daerah, Majlis Perbandaran, used to have open dumping practices for waste disposal, meaning that they found an area which is suitable. They said that it is suitable, close by the city probably, and then they just send the waste to this area, and then leave it there for many years until the landfill is full, until the land is full with waste. So that's what we call open dumping. And then the next would be, they call it landfill, yeah, meaning that it is controlled by the local authority. Sometimes the waste will be weighted in order to know how much waste being disposed in one day. And then there could be like some fences, showing that this is actually under the local authorities waste disposal. What else? Sometimes probably they will see, probably they just monitor water quality nearby. Some sort of management, some sort of monitoring, but very minimal monitoring. So that's what we call landfill. Okay, then recently, which was about in the year like 2000, the year 2000, which is almost like 22 or more, about 25 years ago. There's new technology came to Malaysia, and it is called sanitary landfill. Yeah, and even a sanitary landfill will have a few methods, such as what we call trench area depression. Okay, I will show you what these methods, how it looks like, how it is managed, afterwards, And then people are also talking about hazardous waste landfill, and it is called secure landfill. Okay, regarding this, we will learn about this in the topic hazardous waste management. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is open dump. It is defined as a land disposal site at which solid waste are disposed of in a manner that does not protect the environment. So that's what I mentioned, doesn't consider about the environment. And it is easily get burning, and exposed to elements, vectors, and scavengers. Okay, scavengers, if you ever heard about scavengers, or there are people who is working at landfills. Sometimes it's illegally or legal. These people will take valuable items from the landfill that can be recycled. And they also mentioned that they've sometimes found like gold or money that people accidentally thrown away in the landfill. So sometimes they can get, not that they can get really rich, but at least they can have daily so that they can eat every day. So it's like a source of income to them. It can be part-time job or it can be a full-time job for them. Okay. So open dumping can include solid waste disposal facilities or practices that pose a reasonable probability of adverse effects on health and the environment.
Trending lu.
Okay, control landfill.
Sekali je tau.
Oh, siapa tu? Okay, control landfill. Landfill is the most common solid waste disposal method. So I mentioned just now open dumping. The second category is control landfill. So this is the most common disposal method. and it is a simple procedure, low cost, and landscape restoring effect. The primary objective of landfill site design is to provide effective method to control and to prevent negative effects on surface water, groundwater, soil, and air. Yeah. For final dumping of solid waste, the landfill is most efficient way to settle the collected waste. Okay, so normally local authorities will opt to this option, which is control landfill with minimal environmental considerations. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next, landfills. Okay. Even for landfills in Malaysia, there are various types that they can choose from. Yeah. So it can be anaerobic landfill, yeah. So anaerobic landfill meaning that when the waste being dumped at the area, yeah, at the landfill site, oxygen could not get into the waste, yeah. So meaning that the biodegradation process will occur without oxygen. Okay, so that's the first type of landfill. The second type of landfill is anaerobic sanitary landfill with daily cover. So meaning that every day, the waste that being dumped at the landfill will be covered by soil, yeah, or other materials that are suitable. Okay, so anaerobic with landfill cover, yeah. And then there's another thing, improve anaerobic landfill with buried leachate collection pipes. So there are some meaning that pipes will be placed at the bottom of the landfill and leachate will be collected. Okay, next, semi-aerobic landfill with natural ventilations and leachate collection facilities. Okay, this one is in Sungai Burung, in Pulau Burung, Seberang Perai, and this is actually by referring to technology from Japan. I'm not. I'm not remember. I cannot remember the name, but it is a Japanese technology, whereby they are actually introducing aeration. Yeah, aeration with natural ventilation. Yeah, so that the process would be the biodegradation process will involve oxygen. Yeah, and at least there could be compost product produced, yeah. And from this, using semi-aerobic landfill, methane gas production can be reduced, and which means that less global warming effect coming from landfills, yeah, because methane gas is actually contribute to global warming. Okay. And then lastly is aerobic landfill with forced aeration. So some of the landfill, introduction of aerobic oxygen being done, and normally they are using blower to include or to introduce oxygen to the landfill site. Okay, so I've already introduced to you open dumping. Okay, yeah, open dumping, and then control landfill, and even control landfill has different categories. And then the next one is sanitary landfill, which is considered as the latest technology for a landfill. Yeah. So what does it mean, sanitary landfill? So by definition, sanitary landfill is a land disposal site that employs the principle of spreading waste in thin layers, compact the material to the smallest possible volume, and apply cover material at the conclusion of each operating day. Yeah, this is a simple explanation. So sanitary landfill is engineered method for land disposal of waste and hazardous waste in a manner that protects the environment. So sanitary landfill has the most or the maximum protection for the environment considerations and technologies involved. Yeah. Okay, within the landfill, physical, chemical, and biological process occur. Okay, so it is like a bioreactor, but it is a very large bioreactor that the organic waste normally will be doing, will be degrading naturally. Yeah. However, plastics and other non-biodegradable cannot be degraded, of course. Yeah. So only biological or organic materials can be biodegraded. All right. So within the landfill, physical, chemical, and biological process occur. So you can imagine these processes are occurring in a large scale, degrading the solid waste and producing odor. So sometimes if you enter the landfill site, you can already smell the odor, the bad smell, leachate and gases. Yeah. But what is amazing, yeah, when you are, or probably in the future you are you will become engineer at the landfill site. Once you work there every day, yeah, the smell gone, meaning that the bad odor, you are already immune to the bad odor, yeah, and you don't really feel the bad odor. However, if you just visit the place, the landfill site once in a while, then you can feel the bad, you can smell the bad odor, but it will just go after a few hours. Okay, I mean that's life. Someone will need to do the job. Yeah, someone will need to make sure that the waste that everyone produce will be managed efficiently. Yeah. Okay, any questions regarding to this? Okay, no question. So what are the purpose of sanitary landfill? Yeah. Okay, the main purpose of sanitary landfill is to ensure waste is safe by reducing the harm from accumulated waste and allowing safe decomposition. Yeah, can you imagine if there's nobody collect the waste from our home, from, you can imagine how the, even after 2 days, 3 days, if there's nobody pick up the waste from our home, the smell is really bad. You can see that the surrounding area doesn't look very good, very bad. Yeah. So it is like this job is very important to human being. Yeah. Manage the waste. Yeah. Okay. So the alternative layering of garbage and salt aids in hastening decomposition. Because methane, a toxic gas, is produced from decomposition, it is collected in a landfill to generate electricity. So a sanitary landfill, uh, we can actually, from the biodegradation process, yeah, anaerobic biodegradation process, methane gas will be produced and it can be collected, and we can actually recover energy, or renewable energy can be obtained from the landfill. Okay, so how does it look like? Just a simple figure to show a sanitary landfill. So here we can see this is the groundwater flowing underneath. Okay, so this would be a lining system. Yeah, a lining system at the bottom of the landfill and also at the side of the landfill. Okay, lining system, we will learn about it in next week lesson. Actually, it can be made of very hard plastic. Yeah, it can be HDPE plastic, very hard plastic, and it can be layered. Yeah, and then after the lining system, we will have leachate collection system. Yeah, that means piping system will be placed at the bottom of the landfill. Yeah, so that leachate coming from the waste can enter the piping system, which are the piping systems are perforated, meaning that there's some holes being designed at the pipes, yeah, along the pipes, and leachate can enter through that, and leachate can be collected from the landfill site. and it should be treated. And sometimes we can also recover energy from the leachate as well. Yeah. And then after that, only the waste will be placed on top of the piping system. And then there would be a daily cover, meaning that within a 1 day operation, the waste should be covered by soil or other materials, suitable materials. Yeah. So at the landfill side, meaning that after the completion of the landfill, probably after 20 years or so, and when the landfill site is full, then there would be final cover. Yeah, final cover on top of the landfill, and grasses, yeah, will be grown on top of it. And then, okay, that's it. And then I just mentioned to you, leachate collected, and then it will be sent to a leachate treatment facility. So leachate treatment facility is similar to wastewater treatment facility. Yeah, I think probably you already have I've learned about wastewater treatment. So leachate treatment facility is similar to that. Okay, and then there's some monitoring for groundwater quality here. What else? Okay, there's another one, gas control or gas collection system. So vertical pipes will be placed at some intervals in the landfill within the waste, and gas, methane gas will be collected. Yeah, this is the gas control and also gas collection. And then energy, which means methane gas being collected and being changed or being transformed into energy by using a certain technology. Yeah. Okay, so that's it about the components of a sanitary landfill. Yeah, so it's an engineered system ensuring that minimal environmental impact or pollutants can go away from the landfill site. Okay.
Lecturer, can I
Yes.
ask you one question?
Yeah.
Ask you one question?
Sure.
So for the leachate treatment system, only available for sanitary landfill only, right? For the landfill that you mentioned before, like controlled by authorities, little monitoring on them without having this system, right?
That's right. That's right. So like a normal landfill, just a landfill without a sanitary landfill. Normally, it was happening years ago, years back, meaning that waste just being dumped at the site, and then normally leachate will seep through the ground and then it goes to the river. That was happening previously. And there's no leachate collection, no leachate treatment for the normal landfill.
So it's probably causing a lot of pollution to the groundwater, right?
Yeah, that's why you still can hear the issue rivers being polluted because it comes from a landfill site, which means there's no collection, or currently probably they are upgrading. Nowadays they are upgrading. They are trying to collect the landfill, the leachate from landfill, but still there are more landfill sites. Yeah, because initially most of the landfill sites in Malaysia is just a normal landfill without leachate collection, without gas collection. So that's why you still hear the problem. Okay, are you clear now? All right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, so I will continue. Okay, actually, you can watch Bukit Taga Sanitary Landfill, the video just from down. You can watch it in YouTube. Actually, Bukit Taga Sanitary Landfill is probably number 2, meaning that the earliest sanitary landfill in Malaysia was in Air Hitam Puchong, which is nearby Seri Kembangan. Yeah, and it started its operation like in 1995 in Aitampucho, and it continues because it actually served for KL and Selangor area, yeah, in Seri Kembangan. So it closed very fast. I mean, the landfill get full very fast, and I think it closed down. I mean, it was full and closed in around 2009, 10, something like that. It should be, the lifespan should be around 20 to 30 years, but it was shortened to like 15 years because of the amount of waste being sent to the sanitary landfill. So it was like half of its lifespan. Yeah, so it was the first one in Malaysia, Aitam Puchong in Seri Kembangan. The Bukit Taga Sanitary Landfill now is in, I think, nearby Rawang. If you pass through the North-South Highway after Rawang, I think there's exit to Bukit Taga. Actually, the exit to Bukit Taga is actually specially made for the sanitary landfill. Yeah. So it was the second sanitary landfill in Malaysia, and it is a very large area because it is managed by KUB Berjaya. Yeah, and this KUB Berjaya, they are very rich, so they have a lot of land, and also a lot of land. So they just manage. They said that they cannot be full until the end of the world. Meaning that they have such a very large area that they can manage for a very, very long time. Yeah. So most of the waste from KL and North Selangor area, they are sent to Bukit Taga Sanitary Landfill. So you can watch the video about that. It's very advanced sanitary landfills, and it's interesting for you to watch the video. Okay, so now even a sanitary landfill has different classification, has 4 classification for a sanitary landfill. Yeah, in Malaysia we have 4 classification of a sanitary landfill. The first classification is level 1, sanitary landfill with level 1. Yeah, it's a controlled tipping, meaning that it's only include control tipping, the waste being weighted at the weigh bridge when entering the sanitary landfill, and it is being dumped there. So meaning level 1 is similar to a normal landfill. Yeah, so even a sanitary landfill has a very low level. Yeah, level 2, a sanitary landfill with a barn and daily cover soil, meaning that there's a boundary. Yeah, a barn is like a boundary for the landfill area, and there would be a daily cover. Yeah, and it's covered with soil. Yeah? The level 3 is a sanitary landfill with leachate recirculation system, meaning that leachate will be collected and then it will be circulated again back into the landfill site or the cell, to the landfill site cell. So meaning that the leachate will not be disposed to any river. Okay, and then the maximum is the level 4 sanitary landfill with leachate treatment facility. So that will be the highest level or classified of landfill. Yeah. Okay, the classification is used to determine the required standard of improvement to be achieved based on considerations to the site conditions, financials, constraints, proposed technology, post-closure, land use, and etc. Yeah, it is especially important as because there are many landfills available in Malaysia. So once they are, like, the local authorities will need to improve, yeah, or upgrade their landfill, so they can plan to upgrade their landfill in accordance to a sanitary landfill level 1, 2, 3, or 4. Yeah. So, and it depends on the local authorities, of their financial constraint, of their site conditions, of their technology available, of or the proposed technology, and also post-closure land use. Yeah. Okay. Are you okay? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? There's so many categories, there's so many levels, yeah, but still it is under the category of sanitary landfill. Okay. So facilities for sanitary landfill. Okay, this is what I mentioned. Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so it's explained about that. Okay, so planning for a landfill. Yeah, so future. Okay, what's the area required for a landfill? Depends on the planning of the landfill. So it can be planned using a short-term planning, which is a 10-year frame, or a long-term planning, which is a 30 years frame. Yeah, so it can be done for a short term or for a long term. Okay, the target lifespan can be designed operational duration of the landfill site and should be set at approximately 15 years of operations. Yeah, so similarly that we have in Aitam Puchong, nearby the Sri Kembangan, it was 15 years of operation. Okay. Actually, if you go and visit to that area now, it looks like a recreational area, yeah. Whereby you can jogging, yeah, you can walk. It's like a taman. Currently it's like a taman. However, underneath, the biodegradation process is still occurring, but there are the worldwide landfill, yeah, the operators still monitoring the post-closure. They are still monitoring the water quality at the river nearby. They are monitoring the methane gas production. Yeah. So it was the first history of a sanitary landfill in Malaysia. Okay. Land acquisition is the first step in a new landfill planning. Yeah, meaning that to identify the appropriate land is the first step. And I think currently in the year 2020, starting 2020, yeah, until now, until in the future, it is very difficult to find appropriate land nearby the city or nearby where the sources of waste generation, yeah, nearby from our home. So landfill could be found very far away. So that is why it is important for us to divert the waste that we generated from our home to landfill, because the cost will keep increasing and increasing because the land is getting further and further, and also even the cost of the land is getting more expensive each year. Yeah. Okay, what else? Okay, land capacity must be estimated for the selected design period and able to support solid waste function. As such, leachate treatment, gas management, and special services such as tires, bulky items, and household hazardous waste. So consideration for these items should be made as well. Yeah. Okay, the implementation plan for the landfill site shall be used to determine the best policies and implementation set necessary to equip and arrange the required facilities so that the proposed landfill site is able to receive solid waste from the designated service area throughout its design lifespan. Yeah, so implementation of plan is important. And then implementation of plans generally. Plans shall be implemented according to landfill management activities as follows. Okay, it starts with stage 1, planning. Stage 2, design and construction. Stage 3, operations and maintenance, meaning that daily waste transported to the landfill, maintenance, and the final stage, meaning that at the end of 20 years, yeah, at the end of the lifespan, it is the closure stage. meaning that post-closure monitoring that I mentioned just now, it should be continued. Yeah. Okay, so establish the requirement for the landfill site. The site must provide sufficient landfill capacity for the selected design period and support any ancillary solid waste functions such as, okay, we need to have leachate treatment, leachate collection and treatment, landfill gas management, special waste services, yeah, for tires, bulky items, household hazardous waste. So these items may be separated, yeah. If you know, in Dengkale, nearby UKM, in Dengkale, there's a landfill, a sanitary landfill, or it is simple. It is simple because it's only collect bulky items, tires, and household hazardous waste, so that it can be disposed of there. Yeah. So it is called a special landfill site, or special sanitary landfill for special services only. Okay. And then facilities for handling recyclable materials. So normally at the landfill site, there's what we call MRF. I think you have learned about MRF, meaning that there's a centralized facility to collect recyclable materials and preparing for recyclables items to be sent to factories. Yeah. And currently in Malaysia, if we know, the proposal of a landfill or of a sanitary landfill will also include MRF. Yeah, the government now think that it is necessary to have. It is better. Yeah, it is still an optional, but it is better. It is good to have MRF facility, or even treatment of waste being incorporated in the landfill site, yeah, such as incineration. The one that I've been involved in as a panel, there are various proposals for what we call incineration, refuse-derived fuel, yeah, incineration facility that include landfill, a sanitary landfill, and also MRF. Yeah, the one that I was involved was in Malacca, Sungai Udang landfill in Malacca, and also in Johor Bahru, in Johor area. That similarly they would have the same facility, landfill, together with treatment of waste. Okay, data needed for determination of landfill capacity. So what are the data requires? Waste disposal requirement for the communities using historical records of population and waste generation from the last several years. So it was taken from the statistic department, identifying how many population in that area. The waste density of compacted waste in the landfill, so how much waste can be compacted in the landfill, and also the volume of daily and final cover materials. Yeah, because daily, for a sanitary landfill, it needs to be covered by soil. Yeah, so cover material will normally will take place a total of 20 to 50% of the total volume of a landfill. So consideration of the daily materials should be made as well. And if soil is used, a typical in-place density of approximately 700 kilogram per cubic meter is applied. So meaning that a typical density at a landfill in Malaysia is approximately 700 kilogram per cubic meter. Okay, what other factors affect the volume of landfill? So new regulations will affect, yeah. So waste diversion. So if the government say that it is necessary to divert the waste by recycling process, so meaning that lesser waste will be sent to landfill. So if there's new regulation, meaning that less landfill waste will be sent to landfill. Yeah. competing facilities. For example, new landfills may exist that would receive some of the waste. So probably there's another new landfill at the area. So half of the waste will be sent to the other landfill. Yeah. Different cover option. Okay. If soil, as I mentioned, about 20 to 50% of landfill volume. If we use other materials, so probably it can be reduced. Yeah. And then change in residential and non-residential waste generation rates. So this may be due to, awareness programs, less plastic bags being used by the public, by the community. Yeah. So change in our behavior, change in the community behavior means less waste will need to be disposed at landfill. Okay. Now, what is the process of selecting the best site, landfill site? So there's a rule of thumb that, of course, that need to be considered. It shouldn't be near a floodplain area, near wetland zone, near seismic zone, near endangered species habitat, not too close to the airport, yeah, because normally landfill sites will attract birds, yeah, lots of birds, especially gaga or seagull, yeah. So birds sometimes can actually interfere with the flights, yeah, the air flights, yeah. So not too close to the airport, not to area with high population density, not too close to Sacred Island or Resort Island, yeah. A groundwater recharge area, or it's not shouldn't be sited on a unstable soil condition. Okay, other qualitative features to be considered. So meaning if we are using GIS, for example, trying to find appropriate location, so you have to identify the land use nearby, yeah? The population density, groundwater quality nearby, yeah? Site topography, ownership. Of course, it is important if you are a government agency and you are developing a landfill site. It shouldn't be a private owned land, yeah. Otherwise, you have to pay for the land, yeah. The soil condition, yeah, and also proximity to the centroid of waste generation, meaning that it's not too far away from the waste generation. Yeah, what else? So it can be the most difficult obstacle to overcome in developing a new land. Yeah. So normally what the local authority will do is that they will try to upgrade the current landfill. If the land still available, they will expand the land area, yeah, or they will include other facilities. As I mentioned, they would have like composting facility nearby the land so that some of the waste can be composted, yeah, or incinerated, yeah. Okay. Consideration should be given for various variables such as public opposition. Yeah, of course, when you are proposing for a landfill nearby their housing areas, so there could be opposition by the public. And normally, because this landfill proposal will have to pass through the EIA process by the Department of Environment Malaysia. So in that process, there would be a requirement to get public opinion. So in case the public oppose your proposal, then you should you have to rethink about the locations of the site. It cannot be done if public oppose the project. Yeah. Consideration also should be made nearby a major roadways. Otherwise, like Bukit Taga landfill, they have to build a special exit or interchange. Yeah, they have to build a special interchange just for the lorries can pass through the area and dispose the waste at the site, at the landfill site. But of course, you know, Berjaya, a very rich company, they are able to do that. Yeah. Okay, what else? Distance. You have to also to consider traffic patterns, traffic jams and others, distance from collection areas. You also have to consider buffer area around the site because you don't want the public or the community to be very close to your landfill because it will create problems. Okay, especially there would be lots of trucks, lots of lorry will enter the site, and if there are communities stay by the area, they will feel unhappy about it. Okay, I think I need to go faster, a bit faster. All right, this is the site selection, yeah, process. And as I mentioned, landfill site should be done by, should be passed through the DIA, detailed EIA process before construction. Okay, and this is the method, the trench method, whereby waste being dumped on, meaning that excavation, yeah, excavation will be required for the waste to be dumped at the site, yeah, meaning that the cell will need to be excavated and then only the waste can be placed at the cell, yeah, on top of the cell. The next method is area method, is whereby excavation is not required. The land is already appropriate, suitable for the waste to be placed there. So immediately waste can be disposed, yeah, can be placed on that area. And the last type or the last method is depression method, which means it is for example, there's lumbung, quarry area, yeah, that's no longer in use, or in United States they call it canyon, yeah. There's a place where they can just dump the waste without being excavation required, yeah. Okay, so I've already mentioned about this, the landfill scheme. And this how it looks like during the construction of a sanitary landfill, whereby you can see at the bottom of the landfill, you need to provide lining system, yeah, lining system, which actually can be made of hard plastic such as HDPE plastics and others. And there should also be geotextile being included at the bottom of the landfill. We will learn about the detail of a lining system in our next lesson, yeah. Okay, so this is the activities for putting on the lining system. And this is where the waste already arrived at one cell at the landfill, and then it will be compacted, yeah, it will be pushed away to one side of the landfill, and it will be compacted by a compactor, yeah. Right, so of course, I think we have already discussed about biological degradation, and this is most appropriate, similar to anaerobic digestion process, whereby our organic materials, which contains protein, carbohydrates, lipids, yeah, will undergo the anaerobic digestion process, and eventually methane gas will be developed, yeah, and then carbon dioxide, yeah. So it is similar process. That is why methane gas will be produced, and it will need to be managed appropriately. Okay, factors which affect biological process. So you can imagine how large, how big is the bioreactor of a sanitary landfill, yeah. So you need to manage or monitor the temperature, pH, presence of toxic substance, and also moisture content as well. So microbial process happening in the waste. Okay, so similar to anaerobic digestion process. I think I don't have to repeat it again. Similarly, all right, And of course, a landfill or a sanitary landfill is considered as a low-cost, low-technology process as compared to other types of treatment options, such as incineration is more expensive, yeah. Composting, in-vessel composting, yeah. But still, it can function as a waste management, as an appropriate waste management, yeah. Okay, so I think you already have the soft copy of the textbook, yeah? Okay, there's examples in the textbooks regarding the example 4.1 in the textbook about solid waste compaction in landfill. Example of the calculation to estimate landfill capacity. Example 4.3 for leachate generation, estimation of leachate generation. 4.4 landfill gas estimation to estimate how much landfill gas will produce. Piping spacing and also estimation of gas pressure in pipes. Examples are given, small simple calculations are made. Please look through these examples as I will be taking the examples as part of the similar examples. They are similar to these examples as part of the questions in the exam. Yeah, we will discuss it later on. If you require explanation or discussion, we will do that later on, probably next week or before the exams. Yeah, I mean before the test. Yeah, it's a test. It's not a final exam. It's a test. Okay. Okay, so these are the questions from the textbook. You can read through it first, try the exercise, and we'll discuss if you have any problems regarding that. All right, so that's it about the introduction to a sanitary landfill. Next week, I will meet you again. Okay, let me unshare. Okay, so I will meet you again next week on the 12th of January, Wednesday, at 10 in the morning for the sanitary landfill design, yeah, which is part 2 of sanitary landfill topic. And on Friday, I will see you again next week for hazardous waste management. Yeah. So assignment for sanitary landfill topic will be given on Wednesday next week, and it should be done within 2 weeks time. Yeah. All right. I will take your attendance. 19 students. Okay. Do you have any questions regarding the lecture today? No. Okay. That's all for today. Thank you for listening to my lecture and hope to meet you again next week, inshallah. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Okay. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Doctor.
Sama-sama.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome. Save. I think I should stop recording.